In our today's class, we shall discuss about the hysteresis cycle. Before knowing what exactly hysteresis cycle means, let us know some terminologies which are used in the explanation of the hysteresis cycle. First of all, I am going to consider the different magnetic fields. That means I consider the term like magnetizing field, magnetic intensity, and as well as magnetic field. All the terms are different. Which are those? Magnetizing field, magnetic intensity, and as well as magnetic field. Let us know about these three terminologies first, and it becomes very easy for us to understand the hysteresis cycle. We know that if a solenoid is kept in vacuum and if current is passed through that solenoid, then a magnetic field is set up inside the solenoid, both inside and as well as outside. Outside field is weak, whereas inside field is strong and uniform. See, these are all nothing but the field lines produced by passing the current through the coil of the solenoid. And this magnetic field that is produced inside the solenoid in vacuum is known as magnetizing field. Okay, what is this B naught? So B naught is nothing but magnetizing field. So it is the field produced inside the solenoid when kept in vacuum by passing the current through it. And mathematically it is given by B naught equal to mu naught N into I. What is mu naught? Absolute permeability of free space. Free space means here we consider vacuum. What is N? Number of turns per unit length. That means right from this end to this end, if I consider this length as equal to 1 meter, from this end of the solenoid up to this point, if I consider this length as equal to 1 meter, then in this 1 meter, how many turns of wire are contained? That is nothing but N. So number of turns present in 1 unit length of the solenoid, and I is the current flowing through the solenoid. So this magnetizing field, mathematically it can be represented like this. So let us write magnetizing field means field produced inside the solenoid. Inside the solenoid, when it is produced only when we pass the current through the solenoid. So N refers to number of turns per unit length of the solenoid, and mu naught is nothing but absolute permeability of free space. Absolute permeability of free space. Okay. Now, suppose if I consider one ordinary iron bar. This is nothing but an iron bar represented by Fe. The chemical symbol of this iron is Fe. We know that iron is a magnetic material, but still it does not behave like a magnet. What is the reason for this means? Now, each atom of the iron behaves like a tiny magnetic dipole. See, these are all nothing but the tiny magnetic dipoles of this iron bar. And these magnetic dipoles are found to be oriented or arranged in random direction. Look here. So this is one magnetic dipole. Let the dipole moment of this be equal to M. Now this dipole moment and this you look into this dipole and also this dipole, the direction of alignment are totally different. So like this, all the magnetic dipoles of this material are found to be oriented in random direction. That is why the net magnetic dipole moment turns out to be equal to 0, because magnetic moment of one dipole cancels the magnetic dipole moment of another dipole. Let us observe this how. Suppose if I consider this magnetic dipole So the direction of magnetic dipole moment is like this. Whereas for this magnetic dipole, the magnetic dipole moment direction is entirely opposite. So the direction of the dipole moment for this it is upwards, whereas for this it is downward. Therefore, the dipole moment of these two dipole get cancelled because of opposite direction. Similarly, if I consider one more as an example somewhere here, say for example, if I consider now the dipole, this dipole, the direction of the dipole moment is towards this side, towards right side, whereas the direction of the dipole moment of this dipole is towards left side. So these two, for these two dipole, the dipole moments are equal and opposite, therefore they get cancelled. Like this, the dipole moment, the net dipole moment of all the dipole becomes equal to 0. So that is why iron under ordinary condition behaves as iron itself, though it is a magnetic material. So let us write net dipole moment of all the magnetic dipoles of the specimen or material. Specimen or material means what? Iron itself is considered as specimen or material. So net dipole moment turns out to be equal to 0. But if the same specimen or material is kept in this magnetizing field B naught, what happens? Look here. So this is nothing but B naught, field produced by passing the current through the solenoid. If I keep this material in this magnetizing field, after some time what happens means all the magnetic dipoles align themselves in one regular order. They align themselves. So they are found to be arranging themselves in one particular direction, all along the direction of the magnetizing field. So here net dipole moment is not equal to 0. Now the specimen gets magnetized. That means the same iron bar now behaves like a magnet. So net dipole moment is not equal to 0 in this case. So this means if you want to magnetize a magnetic material, then one magnetizing field must be applied to it, or that magnetic material itself should be kept in magnetizing field, which is the field that in which I am using here. I am using the field produced by the solenoid. Okay, see, this is nothing but this field, same magnetic field B naught. So thereby this specimen gets magnetized. Now this material starts behaving like a magnet. That means when once it gets magnetized, it possesses its own magnetism and also the intensity of magnetization. Now let us consider the next figure here. This shows that the specimen, when once it gets magnetized, then it starts behaving like a magnet with two poles. One of the pole may be here and another pole may be here. Say for example, if this behaves as a north pole, this behaves as a south pole. So therefore, now the specimen possesses its own magnetic field. It possesses its own magnetic field due to magnetization. So this is nothing but the magnetizing field B naught due to solenoid. What about this? So this is nothing but the magnetic field produced due to magnetization of the substance. So Bm is nothing but field due to magnetization of the substance. Substance means it is nothing but iron. Okay. Now, what is magnetic intensity? So far we understood what is meant by magnetizing field. Magnetic intensity, which is represented by H. Magnetic intensity, or it is also known as magnetic field intensity. See, it is nothing but the degree to which the magnetic field can magnetize the material. If this material is to be magnetized, then to what extent this magnetic field can magnetize this specimen, that is nothing but magnetic intensity. Here degree refers to the amount or the level So to what level can the field magnetize the material strongly or weakly? So that amount or that degree, that level refers to magnetic intensity. So let us write this. So it refers to the degree or also considered as amount in which a magnetic field can magnetize the substance. And mathematically it is given by H equal to N into I. Okay, or it is also given by, so it is given by H equal to B naught divided by mu naught. So just look into the difference between B naught and as well as H. So it is very evident that as B naught increases, H also increases. How can we increase B naught? B naught can be increased by increasing the current. So therefore I can write like this: if current increases, B naught, magnetizing field increases. If magnetizing field increases, then the magnetic intensity also increases. So B naught becoming large means, so the strength also becomes large. That strength itself refers to the degree or the amount. Okay, so weak field can magnetize the substance weakly, strong field can magnetize the substance strongly. So that's the meaning of this. What is this N into I? N already we know that it is nothing but number of turns per unit length, and I is the current flowing through the solenoid. Now let us know one more term. What is the term means? Magnetic field. What is meant by magnetic field? Represented by B, the letter B. See, it is also known as magnetic induction, magnetic field or magnetic induction. See, it is defined as number of magnetic lines of force passing normally through unit area. See, what does it mean? Now suppose inside the material, if I just consider one unit area, that area may be of any shape, either the circular area or rectangular shaped area or square shaped area. Now what I do means, I consider now the circular shaped area like this. Okay, let us write this separately. I write it here. So its area is equal to 1 meter square. So A is the area whose value is 1 meter square. Through this area, circular area, how many magnetic lines of force are passing? That is known as magnetic field. As per this figure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one, this and also this. So totally 5 lines. What about these 2 lines? These 2 lines are out of this area. Therefore, I am not going to consider these 2 lines. Only I consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suppose if you imagine my hand itself as a circular area, then through this circular area, how many lines of force are passing perpendicularly? So not in an inclined manner. So the area and the field lines must be mutually perpendicular to each other. So that refers to the magnetic field. So let us write this. So these are the magnetic field lines due to magnetizing field. And what about the red color one? These are nothing but the magnetic field lines due to the magnetization BM. magnetization of the material. So these two are the field lines due to the magnetization of the material, and these three are nothing but the magnetic field lines due to the magnetizing field. So the total number of magnetic lines of force passing perpendicularly or normally to the area is known as magnetic field. But whenever you want to find the magnetic field, we do not count the magnetic lines. For definition sake, we use number of magnetic lines of force passing. Only for definition purpose we say number, but to find the value of B mathematically, there is one equation. What is that equation means? Let us write here. So that equation is nothing but B equal to flux by area. Flux means magnetic flux represented by phi B divided by area. So this is the mathematical equation used to find the magnetic field. See, magnetic flux refers to magnetic lines of force passing. Through what area the lines of force are passing? If you consider that ratio, that becomes the magnetic field. So observe all three. B naught is a vector quantity. Okay. Then what about H? H is also vector quantity. Remember. Then what about B? B is also vector quantity. So what's the difference now? We understood that by increasing I, B naught increases. If B naught increases, H increases. Okay. Then if H increases, what happens to B? Look into this equation now. If H increases, what happens to B? So the magnetic field B also increases. If H increases, B also increases. So this is how all the terms are related to each other. So finally we can conclude that on increasing I, magnetizing field increases. By increasing the magnetizing field, H can be increased. If H increases, finally the magnetic field also increases. So these are the terms in which we make use to understand the hysteresis cycle. Okay. In case of hysteresis cycle, what we do means we magnetize a material, magnetic material, and we demagnetize it again. So magnetization, demagnetization, that is what we do in case of hysteresis cycle. During the process of magnetization and demagnetization, how the value of B varies with H. How the value of magnetic field varies with magnetic intensity, that we are going to study graphically. Now let us try to understand what is meant by hysteresis cycle. In order to explain the hysteresis cycle, what we do means we consider one ferromagnetic material like iron, which is kept inside the solenoid. Here for simplicity, I have not written the copper terms for the solenoid, but it is obvious that you should keep in your mind that the solenoid consists of the copper coil, but I have not written because it is only an explanation. Now the solenoid is connected to one simple circuit. How? The solenoid is connected to a battery through a plug key and as well as rheostat. That means the two terminals are connected to the battery, plug key and rheostat, which are all in series. Rheostat is used to vary either the potential difference or the current in any circuit. So that's the main function of rheostat. Whenever a current is to be varied or potential difference is to be varied in any circuit, we make use of rheostat. So by operating rheostat, the current through the solenoid can be varied from 0 to maximum and maximum to 0. Now here, this is nothing but the ferromagnetic material which is kept inside the solenoid. Now what we do means we magnetize this and also demagnetize. During the process of magnetization and demagnetization, how the magnetic field B varies with H, we study this graphically. That means by plotting a graph of B against H, we study the hysteresis cycle. Now, as I told already, we know that as current increases, B also increases. Why B increases means what is the value of B? See, B equal to mu naught N into I. So if I increases, B also increases, B naught, magnetizing field. So magnetizing field is directly proportional to the current. Then if B naught increases, then magnetic intensity H also increases. How can you say that if B naught increases, H also increases? Because we know the relation for H equal to B naught divided by mu naught. Here also H is directly proportional to B naught. That means magnetic intensity is directly proportional to magnetizing field. So that is why if B naught increases, H also increases. If H increases, once again B also increases. Once again, how can you say that B increases if H increases? Because we know the formula for the permeability. Permeability mu equal to B by H. So therefore B equal to mu into H. As H increases, B also increases. Once again, B is directly proportional to H. So this is how all the terms are related to each other. So initially, when no current is passed through the solenoid, that means if I is equal to 0, I consider the current as I. First stage, when no current is passed, then what about magnetizing field? No magnetizing field, P naught equal to 0. If you pass the current, then only magnetizing field exists inside the solenoid. If B naught is equal to 0, magnetic intensity is also 0. If H is 0, then magnetic field B is also 0. Okay. Next. Now what we do is, we close the key. Now the current I starts flowing through the solenoid. Now we increase the current gradually to maximum value by operating the rheostat. Now what happens means, if we increase the current from 0 to maximum value gradually, not suddenly, then B naught also increases, thereby H also increases, and due to this the magnetic field B also increases. So let us write this in a simplest format. On increasing I, if I is increased, then what happens? B naught also increases. Okay, thereby H, magnetic intensity, also increases. Then magnetic field B also increases. Then now what I do means, I increase I further to maximum. Now I increased to maximum, thereby B naught also increases. Here afterwards what I do means, while explaining, I drop B naught, directly I connect I with H. Okay. So in the initial stage, let us know that if I increases, B naught increases. If B naught increases, H also increases. So this is how all are related to one another. So if I is increased, so directly now I go to this H. H also increases to maximum value. What is that maximum? I call this as H maximum. If H becomes maximum, then what happens? B. Now, B also increases with H up to certain stage. Then it becomes saturated. Even though H continues to increase to maximum value, B is not going to increase further. So, at some stage, B gets saturated even though H continues to increase to maximum value. So, B increases further and becomes saturated. Okay. So this is what which is going to happen. Here, what is meant by B becoming saturated? See, B becoming saturated means when once we pass the current, look here. So this is nothing but B naught. I write only one magnetic line instead of writing too many magnetic lines. Now all these magnetic dipoles which are randomly oriented when current is 0, now starts aligning themselves along the direction of magnetizing field. So if I is increased, H increases, B also increases, B increases, and then it gets saturated. So it means that all the magnetic dipoles now orient themselves along the direction of the magnetizing field, and no more magnetic dipoles are left in random direction. Let us write one simple figure for the purpose of understanding this. Like this, all the dipole orient themselves along the direction of magnetizing field. Suppose if there are 100 dipoles, all 100 dipoles orient in the direction of magnetizing field. So that is the meaning of saturated. So no more magnetic dipole is left in the random direction. So this operation, which operation? On increasing H to maximum, B becomes saturated. So this operation can be represented by means of a curve OA. So it can be represented by the curve OA. Okay. Look here. How can you say that from the curve B is saturated? Look here. H continuously increases. This is H maximum in positive direction. When we pass the current in this direction, B naught will be in this direction, thereby H also remains to be in the same direction. Even though H continues to increase, what is happening to the curve? Look here, at this stage, the curve, this portion of the curve, almost it is parallel to H axis, that means X axis. So that is why we say that B is saturated. If B continues to increase along with H, then this curve would have raised up like this, but it is not rising further. It is becoming almost parallel to H. So from this we can say that B got saturated. So let us write here, at this point H is maximum because current I is maximum but B is saturated. At which point? At the point A. Now in the next stage, what we do means, now we start decreasing the current once again by operating the rheostat. If we decrease the current, then magnetizing field B naught also decreases. Thereby H also decreases. Then once H starts decreasing, B also starts decreasing. But a strange thing is going to happen at this stage. Okay, let us write the next stage. If I is decreased from where? From maximum, then H also decreases from maximum. Now what happens to B? B also starts decreasing from saturated value. Okay. Then if I is made finally 0, then H also becomes 0, but B does not becomes equal to 0. So we stopped passing the current. That means we made the current completely 0. It should be done gradually, not suddenly. That is why we operate rheostat. If current is to be stopped quickly, immediately, then no need to operate the rheostat. Simply if I remove the key, then what happens? All of a sudden current becomes 0. So we should not follow that procedure. So we should decrease the current gradually, because in the first stage we increase the current gradually. So do the same thing. Increase gradually, decrease gradually. So don't increase suddenly and don't decrease suddenly. So that is the procedure to be followed during the magnetization and demagnetization. So when I is made completely 0, H becomes 0, B doesn't becomes equal to 0. What does it mean? The substance is able to retain the magnetic field. So the substance retains the magnetic field even though if H becomes equal to 0. This means the substance retains magnetic field even if H equal to 0. Let us know further what about what is the meaning of this. Now what happens? This B naught is made completely 0. B naught is made 0 means H is also made 0. So here afterwards I drop B, I consider H. So when H equal to 0, now I am not going to write the magnetic line because current is made 0, thereby H also becomes 0. What is the meaning of substance retaining the magnetic field? Retaining the magnetic field means it retains its magnetism. It is not going to behave like an ordinary iron bar. Still it possesses some amount of magnetism. That means, suppose if there are 100 dipoles, out of 100 dipoles, say for example, around 70 dipoles may still align in the direction of the in the direction of H. So this was the direction of H initially. All along that direction, out of 170 dipole aligns, remaining 30%, that means 30 dipoles, may align in random direction. So that is the meaning of this. 100 dipoles, 70 got aligned once again in the direction of H, whereas 30, remaining 30 aligns in which direction? Random direction. So because of this, the substance is able to retain its magnetism. That is why B does not becomes equal to 0 even if H is made equal to 0. So this amount of magnetic field retained by the substance or the specimen is known as residual magnetism, residual magnetic field. So the amount of B left in the specimen or the amount of magnetic field left in the specimen is called residual magnetic field. Residual magnetic field represented by BR. R stands for residual. Residual means remaining magnetic field. Okay. And the property of the substance, which property? Retaining the magnetism. Even if H is made as equal to 0 is known as retentivity. Okay. So property refers to retentivity, whereas the amount of magnetic field left in the specimen, that is known as residual magnetism. And this operation is represented by the curve. Look here. So this is the curve. Okay, AB. So this operation is represented by the curve AB. Now next what we do means, we change the direction of current. There are two ways of changing the direction of current. By making use of reversing key. This is one method. And one more way or another method is without using reversing key, just change the polarity. That means connect this terminal of the solenoid to negative instead of connecting this one to positive. Okay. I connect this to negative instead of connecting this to positive. So this is one method without using reversing key, and connect this terminal to positive. Now what happens? The direction of current now reverses. So this will be the direction of current. Now the current flows in which direction? Anti-clockwise direction. Initially it was flowing in clockwise direction. Then once we change the direction of current, B0 direction also changes. B0 direction changes means H direction also changes. So initially B0 was in this direction. Now the direction of B0 or H, directly I use H, will be in this direction, opposite to that of the initial case. Now what we do means, we increase the current gradually from 0. If we increase the current, H also increases. If H increases, let us know about the magnetic field B, which is able to substance is able to retain its some amount of magnetism, and that is nothing but known as the residual magnetism. So from O to B, this amount refers to BR, residual magnetism. So what happens to the residual magnetism on increasing the current from 0? I is increased from 0. H also increases from 0. Now what happens to B? B starts decreasing. B starts decreasing. Okay. On increasing I further, increased further, H also increases further. But what happens to B now? Now B continues to decrease and B becomes equal to 0 for some value of H. Remember, this is negative H. Why? Because we have reversed the current. So if we reverse the current, H direction also reverses. I consider this as minus H. So H in one direction is taken as positive, H in opposite direction is taken as negative. See, this is what which is going to happen. Still I have not increased the current to maximum. I have started increasing the current by operating the rheostat gradually from 0. If I is increased from 0, H also increases, B slowly goes on decreasing, and for some value of H, B becomes equal to 0. So this amount of negative field, that means negative magnetic intensity at which the magnetic field becomes equal to 0, is known as coercive field. Okay. So the amount of negative field means minus H, required to demagnetize the substance. Demagnetizing the substance means to make B as equal to 0 is called coercive field. And this property of the substance losing its magnetism completely for some negative field is known as coercivity. So property is known as coercivity, whereas amount of negative field required is known as coercive field. What is meant by this? Let us try to understand. Now, all the magnetic dipoles gets oriented now once again in which direction means random direction. So like this. If all the magnetic dipole orient themselves in the random direction for negative H, then it means that the substance has lost its magnetism, thereby B becomes equal to 0. So that is the meaning of this. Now on increasing I furthermore to maximum, let us write this. I is increased further to maximum value, thereby H also increases to maximum. Now what happens to B now? Now B starts slowly increasing. Now B became equal to 0 for some amount of negative field. Okay. Now B starts increasing. That means once again the magnetic dipole slowly starts orienting in the direction of H, like this. So the dipole gets oriented in the direction of H. Okay. Now let us first represent this operation. How do we represent this operation? That means where B becoming equal to 0, it is represented by means of the curve BC. Look at this, the curve BC, and this amount of negative field. So this is plus H. What about this? Minus H. So this amount of negative field is known as, I write this as coercive field, HC. Okay. So this operation is represented by the curve So what is that curve now? That curve is nothing but BC. Okay. Now look here. On increasing H further to maximum. So this is H maximum. In which direction? Negative direction. Minus H maximum. So this is plus H maximum. On increasing H further, now what happens? The substance once again slowly goes on magnetizing in the direction of negative field. That means in the direction of minus H. Then it goes on increasing. Finally, it gets saturated even though if H is increased further. See, here H is increased in positive direction, B got saturated. Once again H is increased in the negative direction. Once again B got saturated in which direction? Negative direction. So B got saturated means what? All the magnetic dipoles, if there are 100 magnetic dipoles, all 100 dipoles orient in the direction of negative field. So that is the meaning of this. So H increases to maximum, thereby B starts increasing and becomes saturated. So even though if you continue to increase H, B is not going to increase. It becomes constant. Saturated means remaining constant. Now this operation is represented by the curve. Let us call this curve as, look here, CD. So this operation is represented by the curve CD. Okay. Now let us write what has happened at a different stages. At this point, what happened here? So I is equal to 0, H is also 0, but B is not equal to 0. That means it got saturated. Then at the point C, what happened here? I is not equal to 0. H is also not equal to 0, but at this point certainly B becomes equal to 0 for some amount of negative field. Whereas at this point, what happens now at the point D? So I is maximum, H is also maximum, but B got saturated. See, what is that we can understand from this means? Suppose if we magnetize the specimen in the positive direction, to demagnetize it completely, that means by applying H in the positive direction, if we magnetize, then to demagnetize this, we have to apply H in the negative direction. That is what we have done. We applied the field in the negative direction, that is why B turned out to be equal to 0. Okay. Now, if once the specimen is magnetized in the reverse direction, that means in the negative direction, to demagnetize that, we apply the field H in which direction? Opposite direction. So it is as simple as this. Magnetize specimen in the positive direction, but demagnetize by applying negative field. Remagnetize in negative direction, again demagnetize by applying the positive field. So that is what we follow here. Now what we do means, we start decreasing the current from maximum to 0. If we decrease the current from maximum to 0, H also decreases from maximum to 0. So the decrease of current can be done by making use of rheostat. So let us write that. Decrease I from maximum to 0. Okay. Now H, that means minus H, also decreases from maximum to 0. But what happens to B, which was saturated initially in the negative direction, but B decreases, B also decreases, but it doesn't become equal to 0. So it doesn't become equal to 0. What does it mean? B is not equal to 0 even though if H is equal to 0. That means the substance is able to retain some amount of magnetism even in the negative direction. Initially, it retained its magnetization in the positive direction. Now, in the negative direction also, it is able to retain its magnetization even though if negative H is made as equal to 0 by decreasing the current to 0. So, this operation now can be represented by the curve DE. So, this operation is represented by the curve DE. Now, next what we do means, we once again start increasing the current from 0. First we shall write what has happened at this point. I has become equal to 0, minus H also became equal to 0, but B is not equal to 0. B is not equal to 0. It is almost what replica of this point. So B and E are the replica. Okay. So the substance is able to retain its magnetization. That means residual magnetism exists even in the negative direction. If this value is plus Br, then from here to here it is can be taken as minus Br. Now in the next stage, right from here, look here, right from here, what we do means we continue to increase the current from 0. We increase the current in which direction? Positive direction. Thereby H also starts increasing from 0. Then what happens to B? Now B starts decreasing, decreases. At this point B becomes equal to 0. Okay, on increasing H further, now B once again starts increasing in which direction? Positive direction, and becomes saturated. So once for all, from year to year, I explain this at a stretch. At one stretch, we can explain from the point E to the point A. So let us write that. Increase I from 0 to maximum value. How do you increase? By reversing the direction. So reverse the direction. How do you reverse the direction? Once again, connect this terminal to positive and this terminal to negative. Now the current starts flowing as usually in the original direction, that means in the clockwise. If current direction is reversed, then direction of H also reverses. Now this is plus H. So that is what we are writing. So increase I from 0 to maximum, thereby H also increases from 0 to maximum. Then what happens to B? B starts decreasing, becomes equal to 0, and once again B starts increasing along with H and gets saturated. That means B becomes saturated even if H is increased to maximum value. Look here. So B initially not equal to 0. Okay. So then now B starts decreasing. When it decreases, if you increase I, H also increases, positive H. So B decreases, and finally at this point here what happens? I is not equal to 0, H is not equal to 0, but B becomes equal to 0. So this point now is the replica of the point C, and this amount of positive field plus H which is required to demagnetize the material is once again known as coercive field. Now on increasing H further, B starts increasing. That means the substance goes on magnetizing along which direction? Along the direction of H, like this, and all magnetic dipole orient in the direction of H. No more magnetic dipoles are left in random order. Okay, so B increases and it becomes saturated even though H is made maximum. So that is what we have written here. So what we have done so far, let us write this in a simplest format. We magnetized the material by applying plus H, that means magnetic intensity in the positive direction. We magnetized this. Next, what we did means we demagnetized this. So we demagnetized. So it is demagnetized. How it is demagnetized? It is demagnetized by applying negative field. Then once again this substance is remagnetized. In which direction? In the same negative direction. And once again it is demagnetized. Demagnetized by applying positive H. And finally it is remagnetized. Remagnetized by applying positive H. So, if we magnetize in the positive field, then to demagnetize that we have to apply negative field. If we remagnetized in the same negative field, then to demagnetize this we have to apply the positive field. So, that is what we have followed: magnetized positive direction, demagnetized by applying negative field, and remagnetized by making use of same negative field. Okay, then demagnetize and remagnetize once again by applying the positive field. So, right from here to here, this operation can be represented by means of the curve. What is that curve? EFA. So, up to here it is demagnetized. Once again it is remagnetized and saturated. That means the specimen is subjected to one cycle of magnetization and demagnetization. So, this is nothing but the hysteresis cycle. What is meant by hysteresis cycle? The process of magnetizing and demagnetizing by subjecting a varying magnetic intensity H. Process of magnetized and demagnetizing. Okay, so magnetize this, demagnetize this. How? By subjecting the specimen. Subjecting the specimen means keeping the specimen in varying magnetic intensity is known as hysteresis cycle. How it should be done, magnetization and demagnetization? It should be according to this: magnetize, demagnetize, remagnetize, demagnetize and remagnetize. So, this process itself is known as hysteresis cycle. Then what is meant by hysteresis? Hysteresis means throughout the cycle of operation, okay, throughout the cycle of operation, it is found that the value of B used to lie behind H. Even though H used to increase both in the positive direction and the negative direction, the magnetic field B remains to be saturated. That means it used to lag behind H. It used to lie behind H. H can be increased further to maximum, but B never increased parallelly along with H. If H continues to increase, B at some point what happens? Becomes constant. So that means B is said to be lagging or lying behind H, and this lagging of B behind H is known as hysteresis. So lagging of B behind H during hysteresis cycle is known as, during hysteresis cycle or during magnetization and demagnetization. During magnetization and demagnetization is known as hysteresis. Okay. Then what is meant by hysteresis loss? See, during the process of magnetization and demagnetization, some energy is lost or wasted. Which is that energy? Electric energy. Electric energy is wasted in the form of heat. Why heat is produced in the substance? Due to the dipole arrangement. So, from random direction to one particular direction, the dipole aligns. Again, from one particular direction, the dipole by themselves used to arrange in random direction. So during this process, what happens? There will be molecular motion inside the material. So due to the molecular motion, what happens means heat is produced, and that heat loss of energy, electric energy in the form of heat cannot be recovered. So therefore, the amount of electric energy that is lost in the form of heat during the process of magnetization and demagnetization is known as hysteresis loss. So energy lost in the form of heat during hysteresis cycle or during the process of magnetization and demagnetization is known as hysteresis loss. Okay. Then what is meant by hysteresis loop? A closed loop. What is that closed loop? A, B, C, D, E, F, A. Start from A and come back to A. So there is no break in what? In the path of this loop. So therefore, a closed loop A, B, C, D, E, F, A. A, B, C, D, E, F, A. Obtained. How it is obtained? By plotting B against H. B against H. That means taking B along y axis and H along x axis is known as hysteresis loop. Okay. So remember these four terms. What is the use of studying this hysteresis cycle? See, there are a lot of uses of studying this hysteresis cycle. So we'll come to know about its applications and also uses in our next class. Thank you.